Good morning. Welcome to the second installment of a series we're calling Know Your Church. This morning, we have with us a very special guest. She is the woman who brought my wife into this world, my mother-in-law, Vicki Shelton. I'm glad you're here. Are you
Thank
pumped?
you. I'm something.
All right. The first question that I've got, where did you grow up? School, town, some of those things, maybe some of your hobbies, just...
Grew up in Cross Plains, and then we moved to Comanche, and I graduated from Comanche High School.
Yep.
And then lived in the Sydney area while my daughters were growing up. And after that, then we moved to Springtown. I moved in 2005 and became the counselor at the high school.
Yep.
And did that for 8 years. And then I retired.
Yay, retirement. Do you love it?
I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still do a few things, so you're semi-retired.
Yeah, I did a little contract work with the school.
Yeah.
It's just very part-time.
Yeah. What about hobbies? What did you enjoy doing as a little girl and a young woman?
Oh, as a little girl, I was a tomboy. Now, I love to paint, and I like to write, and I journal a lot when I do my quiet times with my Bible study and stuff.
Yeah.
And I read a lot, and I like to cook. I like to experiment with recipes.
I know.
I know you know.
I love it.
One year we had so many tomatoes in the garden that I worked on salsa recipes all summer.
Yep.
And I had 4 different recipes, salsa 1, salsa 2, and they were all a little different, but I finally got the recipe that I wanted.
Yeah.
So,
What did you want to be when you were growing up?
I don't think I had any grand aspirations as a kid, which is probably why I didn't go to college even until the girls were already in school.
Yeah.
And then that's when I decided I have always been teaching. I've taught Sunday school, I taught in VBS, and
Yeah.
I felt like I had always been a teacher, even though that was one of the things when I was in high school. I said, I will never be a teacher. But I think that's where my talent lie anyway.
Yeah.
And so went to college and got a degree in English and
Yeah.
taught English for 9 years before I started working on my counseling degree.
Yeah. I know I've been around you when your students, your former students came up to you, and they all are they light up when they see you, Miss Shelton. And, I think, when you have a talent and you are able to use that talent at your work, it's a win-win,
It is, and I think God gives us abilities, and sometimes we reject our abilities. I mean, it's almost like we go, no, that's not.
Right.
That's not what we need to be doing. But I loved English, and I wanted kids to love my area,
Yeah.
So I think when I fell into that, I think I started to realize this is what I've always been doing.
I know it. That's awesome. So, I know that you don't have a favorite daughter. You have 2 daughters, 2 lovely daughters. One of them happens to be my wife. But do you have a favorite son-in-law?
Boy,
Come on.
You loaded both barrels with that one, didn't you?
Brett's probably going to see this, so
Brett will probably
let
see
him
this.
have it. It's okay. We'll let you off the hook on that one.
I love the son-in-law I'm with right now.
Awesome. That's great. That's a great answer. Very political of you to say that. When and where were you saved?
I lived in Cross Plains, and we were going to a little Baptist church right in the middle of town, and there was a revival. And at that time, I was so horribly shy. I mean, hide behind your mama's skirts kind of shy.
Oh, wow.
It was a painful experience for me on that level because I was so introverted, so shy. And to step out of the aisle to do that was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember even a few days later, the pastor came by to visit,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, I was so embarrassed. I mean, I was just that kind of painfully shy.
Yeah.
And, shyness it can hold you back,
Yeah.
and it really can keep you from doing the things that part of your heart really wants to do.
Yeah.
And stepping forward to accept Jesus as my Savior I wanted to do that badly enough that I just climbed over that hurdle.
What is your favorite part of church life?
The community.
Yeah.
I like being in community with a group of believers.
Right.
I think it gives you a sense of, I don't know, it's like extended family.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a church for a while. It was a pretty awesome church. I mean, had a lot of things going for it. But after 2 years, we just, we were not plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't their fault. But when we came back to Hilltop, we came home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And so, it's like your family knows your flaws. Your family knows, they know your problems, and they feel your hurts. And so when I lost my sister, I had a lot of people who came to me and just hugged me, and that kind of community is healing and gives you strength.
Not really anybody in our church knew Shelley.
No.
Other than maybe just seeing pictures of her, but they know you, and they know
Right.
you're hurting, and so that
that's
community.
And that really meant something to me because I thought those very things. They didn't know my sister,
Yeah.
but they know me and they love me, and
Yeah, right.
and I felt that.
Right.
And so
When we have people in our family that hurt, we hurt with them.
That's right.
That's part of the call of a believer is to go through great times with one another and also bear one another's burdens.
go
Right.
through hard times as well.
Yeah. What is your definition of success?
Success is coming to understand that who God is a little more all the time,
Right.
because we want to put him in a box. We want him to conform to what we think he should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the great I am.
Mm-hmm.
He was, and he is, and he
Yeah.
always will be.
Yeah.
And I just want to understand more of that,
Yeah.
the great I am. On the short term, success would be for me to finish some of those goals I have set for myself,
What is your biggest regret in life? And that kind of goes with the goals. You still have things that you want to do and stuff like that. So, but biggest regret?
I haven't done things in my life that I would like to have attempted because I was afraid of failing.
Mm-hmm. In maybe in the church or in ministry in some way, what is it do you think that God still wants to accomplish through you? Because you're not near being done, right? So
I thought I was for a while.
yeah.
I had taught Sunday school back in Sydney, and forever.
Yeah.
I was involved in the youth activities. Everything. And when I moved up here, then it's a whole paradigm shift. You got a new script. You have new people involved in that little play that you're involved in now, and so that was hard. And so for a long time, I was extremely content to be in the Sunday school class, learning and being taught. And at some point, what you just said, it kind of broke through somewhere in my head. Was like, you're not done.
Mm-hmm.
You're not done till you die. That's when I thought, maybe I need to be teaching again.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have a passion for it, I discovered. I start working on the Sunday school lesson on Monday, if not Sunday afternoon,
Right.
because I really love it. I love working up material for them. I love trying to figure out ways that I can convey God's message to that in between group, you know, the tweens. That's a hard time sometimes for kids.
Yeah.
And so
more teaching.
More teaching.
In your
I
future.
I think so.
You know that we are planning on doing a building project here at Hilltop Family Church, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up, we believe. And what do you see? What would you like to see as part of the vision of our church in the future?
What I would like to see is that we have a common vision. We have a common goal, that all our efforts are put into forward movement to make those goals reality, which is very kind of vague and abstract, you know, way to say it. But I think the quick charge night is really good. Of course, but I think if we can, I think we need to connect more with the families of the kids that we have coming.
Yeah.
I really, really think that might be something we need to put more energy into.
I think some people know and some people don't know that this church was started because a child was reached. Brandon Conway was reached, and he got on fire for the Lord and got saved, and then John Conway got saved, and their whole, kind of like a biblical story, their whole household the whole household got saved, and then out of that, through different circumstances, Hilltop was born out of that.
Right.
And God used a child that got saved and basically started this church through that. And so what can we do?
We got to find a way to reach families.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where the stability for the children will come in as well. Yeah. It's very hard for kids to, even if they've accepted the Lord, it's hard for them to live day to day if their families don't have even a clue what they're talking about.
That's right.
So
it'd be tough if your mom or dad weren't very strong in their faith, and you're trying to live your faith out.
Right, and you're so young.
Yeah.
I mean, and every adult in your home has authority over you, and so it makes it very difficult.
But we got to find a way to reach these parents.
I think that's gonna.
It's the whole world. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of people that just don't see the need in a relationship with Christ. You got to figure it out.
I think we have to be forward thinking.
I hope you've enjoyed this installment of Know Your Church.
A child, you died.